This is not a test. This is your emergency broadcast system announcing the commencement of another purge of the BS, sanctioned by the First Amendment. Frustration levels 0 to 100 have been authorized for use during this purge. All weapons are restricted. Government officials have not been granted immunity from the purge of the BS and shall undoubtedly receive the smoke. Commencing at the sound of the gong, any and all BS, especially unnecessary goofiness, will be purged without prejudice. Police, fire, and emergency medical services will be available, but they will be busy because they too will be watching the purge of the BS. Blessed be those who have already been victims of some BS. May God be with you all.
Welcome to another Purge of the BS. Right here on a Tuesday morning. Sorry I'm a little bit late today. I had some technical issues, but we're here. So as long as we're here and as long as y'all are here, I need a thumbs up in the chat. If you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that like, hit that subscribe, share the video. Make sure you jump in the chat and let us know where you are, who you are. Because we are about to purge the BS. Thank you very much once again for joining in. I see we got IMZ in the chat. Shouts to you. This gong is for you. There you go. All right, let's see what we got today. Since I'm late, I know it's going to take a minute for folks to get here, but I don't have time to wait because I got to do, right? Let me get my angles correct here. Oh, don't forget, check out the link here, shop and support Freeman Services, Purge the BS, and the whole channel. You can go ahead and check out the merch, and even if you don't buy anything, just go check it out. And that is freeman.svcs.org/shop. Link is in the description as well. Now, you bring it down a little bit here. Hold on. Because you know YouTube will penalize you for being late. Can't be late. Can't be late. They hate when you're late. They like, hey, you late. Well, YouTube, I'm on CP time today. Had some stuff to do. But nonetheless, we're going to jump into this episode. I see we have at least one of my mods here, so once things get to jumping, you know I got somebody here to protect and serve. So today's topic is the reckoning, okay? And this is when bad behavior meets consequence. Okay. Now I'm not sure why I've got this weird amber kind of color to me today. This is how the computer's feeling. It's taken me a minute to get used to it. I'm not sure what that's about, but I kind of like it, to be honest with you. Kind of cool. So maybe we'll go with this. Like I'm in the hot seat. So nonetheless, I've been watching the news. You know how I do. Scrolling through social media. And I'm seeing the same pattern over and over and over again, where we're kind of living in this time where people just make these decisions like there's no consequence. Like the world came to be because you were born. Like the world didn't exist before the day they were born. It existed once they were here. Like there's no tomorrow. It's all self-involved. It's kind of crazy. So guess what? At this point, because we have this show, Purge the BS, it is time to make sure that the bill comes due. And we must serve the purge of the BS by purging this BS. So understand, what we're talking about today is the reckoning. Now, every single story I'm about to break down is going to prove the same thing. You can't keep acting like your choices don't matter. Whether you're a teenager thinking swatting is a game, grown women twerking on police cars for TikTok views and stuff, or just, you know, entire institutions just cutting corners. Just like I said, your decision making will always have a result. But a lot of things and a lot of people just seem to operate like that doesn't exist. Like that's not even a thing. So just buckle up real quick. We about to dive deep into about, 7 quick clips. And it'll show how America's act first, think never mentality is basically about to bite us in the ass. And if you're new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that like, jump in the chat, let me know where you're from. All right. So let me get to our first situation. Now, before I do that, water. Docky. Had to moisturize, right? Sure about this shot. I don't like. Well, what that is, that's weird. But it looks like the if you used to watch CSI Miami, I think it was, and it always had this weird orange, amberish kind of color, and that's kind of how Miami is. But for some reason, this camera's doing this right now. I don't know what this is about. It's weird. Taking some getting used to. Al Bond in the chat. I see you over there, bro. Thank you for stopping in. I wonder why I can't see the first chat from. All right, well, we'll see what happens. If the chat box actually works today, that'd be great. Don't see it though. Yeah, I don't see. Oh, I didn't add it to this. Never mind. So let me get to our first story over here, guys. All right, so this is for my internet gangsters. First and foremost, my internet gangsters, gotta let y'all know that you need to stop with the BS, okay? We got some knucklehead kids, and this is one of our WTF segments. And WTF on this channel stands for, well, that's Florida, okay? So this is a WTF segment with the one and only Grady Judd, who's going to present a quick case of swatting and how it ended up getting a couple of teens locked up. So if your kids are doing this, you better be on top of that, because this is not a game no more.
Are going to blur it out, but just get ready to blur, because I'm going to do it. And they're from one, Syracuse, New York, and Hartford, Connecticut. So I applaud our Department of Juvenile Justice for their work, because they actually extradited them here after my detectives were able to get a warrant for their arrest. So get ready to blur, you wimpy stations, okay? Here's Isaiah Reyes. He's 14. He's from Syracuse, New York. And Carderi Martin, he's 15, and he's from East Hartford, Connecticut. And let me tell you what occurred. It started on June the 4th at about 7:50 in the evening. Our victim, who lives in the Davenport, Haines City area, was 12 years old, and he was playing a game with Cardi. And that's what he knew him as. He knew his name. These all are in the same gaming group. And for whatever reason, Cardi became mad with our victim. And once the game was over, he then created a swatting incident. He called the Haines City Police Department. Turned out it was in the unincorporated area, and Haines City sent it to us and said, you know, there's a shooting next door. I've heard it before, but it's really bad, and my mother said to call. And they're shooting, and they're shooting, and they're shooting guns. So, of course, we went there and determined immediately that it was a swatting incident. So the investigation's underway. Our detectives get involved in the case on the 4th of June and tell the parents of this victim, take his devices away from him, stop him from playing games online, because whether he won the game, whether he and the suspect got into an argument over the game, the bottom line is the victim was a victim because he was playing these games online and made someone mad. That doesn't give them the right to come back and violate the law, commit a second-degree felony and a third-degree felony by swatting.
This has become very common. I'm kind of glad that they're locking people up for this now, because this swatting thing, like I said, it can get dangerous. You got the police busting in the door, and especially in certain states where you are allowed to have all types of guns, and you don't know who's coming in, and you decide to raise a firearm at the officers, and you end up unalived right then and there over a prank. So I'm going to be honest with you, I'm very glad that they're cracking down on that, because that's a very dangerous prank to pull, especially if you're just mad over some Call of Duty bullshit. Like, come on, guys, this is real life out here. So when you do that stuff in real life, it has real life consequences. But anyway, I'll let Grady Judd finish. But yeah, I'm glad. I'm happy for it. I'm gonna be honest.
Well, lo and behold, on June the 5th, the very next day, there's another swatting incident to the same victim. This time, the call goes into the Kissimmee Police Department. Kissimmee determines, hey, that's in Polk County, notifies the sheriff's office. This was a more sinister call by Isaiah Reyes. What he said was this: my wife didn't cook dinner tonight. And because she didn't cook dinner tonight, and because she set my clothes on fire as a result of an argument, I've taken a shotgun and killed my wife and killed the children.
What?
And that's the kind of bizarreness we hear often. So, of course, we responded back to the residents. There's the victim. He's online playing with who we determined through the investigation as Isaiah Reyes. So we start following this case back. We tell the parents, what did we tell you yesterday? We told you to take your 12-year-old's devices away from them and stop them from playing online, because he is in arguments with people, and these folks, two of them back to back, decide they will SWAT his house. Now, here's what we figure out as the investigation goes on. Because our 12-year-old has been gaming so long, he'd actually created a friendship with this guy. And this guy and his parents, or his parent, his dad, had actually come down here and interacted with the victim and his parent. So they were no strangers. But here's what's interesting. Because of their conduct, they committed this false report of a violent use of a firearm, which is a second-degree felony, and they created an unlawful use of a two-way device, which is a third-degree felony.
That's crazy.
And they're both of them, which this is what's remarkable.
Hold up, there's an unlawful use of a two-way device is a charge now. So I guess if you misuse text messaging or a phone, I didn't know that one. That's a new one. But okay. But nonetheless, as you see where this is going. They started online, and somehow these kids, got this other kid's address, sent the SWAT team over there 2 times in 2 days, and because of that, now they're apparently arresting them.
I thought New York, Connecticut will never be able to extradite from those 2 states. They're going to say, oh, because we think crime and criminals are okay, but you look at the crime rates up there and you'll see they'll never extradite. But I want to compliment New York and Connecticut.
Grady, stop it.
They respected our warrants. They respected our criminal justice system.
Oh, okay.
Their system respected our system and made these 2 juveniles available. And we flew them back, and they're currently in custody now, waiting on court action in Bartow, Florida.
Hold up. First of all, you can extradite juveniles now? Hey, I'm trying to tell y'all, this is not a game. These are juveniles that were in New York and Connecticut. They flew them back to Florida to arrest them for setting up this swatting incident. Now, here's my other question. When a person calls the police, right, they have a number that comes up. If they're in Connecticut, most likely they don't have a Florida phone number. So that should be the initial thing. But then again, you never know. People have numbers from all over the place. Like, you move and you keep your old number and you might be in a different state. I've been through that before. So I'm not going to say that that's impossible. But what I will say is that's a lot to go through over the swatting piece, because now you got to use more resources to fly them from Connecticut and New York down to Florida, where they're not going to really face a bunch of time anyway, because they're still juveniles and nobody got hurt. So to me, it turns into basically a waste of resources. What's the worst that's going to happen to these kids? Nobody actually got hurt. And, they're saying second-degree felonies and this and that. No, I don't think they're going to do all that. They're from out of town. This is a common occurrence. And yes, Grush Diva, thank you for stopping in the chat. But I do know Grady Judd does not play. Grady Judd as a sheriff doesn't play. But what we also have to understand about the legal system is there's a few different parts to it. The police that arrest people, the judges and the lawyers who sentence people. There's a difference. Grady Judd might have got them, but they go to court and then they find out these kids have clean records, and the parents say that they'll put them in a, anger management class or something like that. They're not going to see any jail time. It's not going to happen unless they have some prior violent offense. At best, they do 30 days somewhere in a juvenile facility, by the way. They won't be putting them in no adult facility. But Grady Judd, I do respect him. People normally don't play around in Polk County, Florida because of him. And he's been the sheriff there for many years. So people know what to expect from him. But what I'm saying is once it gets past Grady Judd and the great press conference that he's doing, when it gets to the lawyers and the judges and the folks there, it's not going to go nowhere. You know what I'm saying? So we can be real about that. We can be real about that. But the main thing is we have to understand that this is just a sign of the times. There was a time where we didn't do this to each other. Kids didn't do this to each other because they weren't gaming online with each other. There was a time where you had to like be in the same location as a person to play a video game with them. Now, granted, when I was younger, we would play games and we might get in a fight physically right there because of something that's going on in the game. Like I used to be really good at Street Fighter, and you beat people enough at Street Fighter, like in a row, 50 times, you just beating everybody. They get upset like you really fighting them. So back then, yes, that would start something. Because they'd be like, you can't really beat me though. And now we got to fight. So that was a long time ago. But then they brought online gaming in so people could all share in the experience from multiple locations. But with that, brought the keyboard warriors and now the swatters. This is a all too common prank now. I've seen a bunch of live streams where people getting swatted. This is not a cool thing to do. But I do appreciate, at least to the degree that Grady Judd is talking about, that they're going to try to prosecute things like this. And maybe this will deter a few people from doing it. If they know that you can get flown out to another state because of doing that. This is the second one of these I've covered in the last month, and this is Florida does this. They will get you where you at and bring you to Florida. Now, what the charges will be and whether you're going to be sitting in jail, that's a whole nother thing. That has to do with commissioners and all types of other stuff. But as far as, like, why did they really do this? What do you really want to happen to a person when you call a SWAT team over there? You want their property possibly destroyed because they got to kick in windows. You want them to possibly be harmed by the officers that come in. So it really should be, in my opinion, should be an attempted murder. When you send armed people over there thinking that there's an armed situation happening in a house, that means that they're expecting somebody with a weapon behind the door. They're going to be very, very anxious, meaning they're going to be very, very trigger happy because they think that what they're walking into is a dangerous situation, not some kid playing Call of Duty in his basement. So things could get real crazy, real fast. I think they need to stop doing stuff like that. But the question is, like, did they get clout from doing this? Do you get clout? Do people respect you when you swat someone else? Like if you say, hey, I swatted such and such. Is that a respect flex? Is that a flex we give now? I would say it isn't. It sounds like a bitch move to me. And now it's considered a felony. So I know somebody in the chat is going to say, oh, they're just kids doing kid stuff, being kids. Da-da-da-da-da. You know, nah, not at, I think they were what, like 16, 17? They old enough to know better. And they knew what they were doing when they did the SWAT thing. So you know what? Charge them. But I understand the legal system's not going to really do much with that. So we'll have the discussion, or we're having the discussion, but more or less just keep an eye on your kids. Don't let them do this goofiness because it's a waste of resources. And it's, you know, but Grady Judd loves coming on screen, and he always got something to say. It's like, we know he don't play, but why is there so much crime in Polk County, Florida, that he's on every day? Like, there's sheriffs in all of the counties of Florida. None of them are on TV every day talking about some crime or some drug bust. They got the most drugs ever. Why is all that going on in Polk County? I'm not really sure. But I'm just saying, it's great that he's always on there talking, but then I say, well, why is all of that going on that he has to be on here talking every day? Polk County seems dangerous. So, and listen to Grush Diva in the chat. Hit that like button, y'all. Make sure I know that y'all are in here. Oh, they have a law requiring press conferences for every arrest? Maybe not every arrest. I'm sure not every arrest, because people get arrested all the time for all types of stuff that doesn't warrant a Grady Judd press conference. He always comes up with these kind of joints, like something where he wants to deter people from coming to Polk County and doing this. So, nonetheless, step back over. Done with this guy. All right. Hey, make sure that you check out Freeman Services website. Check out the merch over there. Support the channel that way. That way you got something you can bring with you. I love super chats and stuff like that, but make sure you check out the merch. That way you got something tangible you can hold on to, all right? And we got the super chat in here from Ascending Phoenix. Thank you, Ascending Phoenix, for the super chat. Florida has the least restrictions of all the states when it comes to finding info about people that broke the law. That's why you see so many stories coming from Florida about people breaking the laws. That's an interesting take on it. So they have the least restrictions. I'll be honest, Florida's pretty laid back. A lot of people call it certain names, but you know, it's pretty laid back. But they definitely have a lot of people come to Florida to do stuff because it is easier to kind of hide within Florida. To be honest, there's a lot of under the table jobs. There's a lot of, if you want to live in the forest, there's plenty of that. Now you might have to deal with alligators or something, but and pythons and shit. But if you're up to it. But yeah, Florida's an interesting place. But I just always wonder why Grady Judd has those things every day. At first I was like, damn, he's just catching a lot of people. Then I said, well, what's really going on there that county always has something going on? So maybe it's just a county ordinance or something. But thank you again, Ascending Phoenix, for the super chat. Much appreciated. Hey, everybody, be more like Ascending Phoenix. All right? And so let me get to our next story here because I got to move through it. I'm sorry I was late, but thank you guys for jumping in over here. What's our next one here? Oh, this is, okay. So we, guys, y'all get ready for this. So apparently, some grown-ass women are going to jail because a dash cam caught them working on a police car. Yes, I said that. A dash cam caught them twerking on a police car, and now they're going to jail. To jail. Now, I don't know what you go to jail for twerking. I'm not 100% sure. Not the clip I was looking for. Wait a second. Wait a minute. Found a different clip, but I don't even know what that one is. Uh-oh. All right, let me pull it up this way. Sorry, guys. I had this. I don't know why I have this other clip here. This the one. All right. Let me pause that here. Let y'all get a good view of this. Y'all ready? All right. Said you were ready. All right, so you guys see the screen over here. I'll let you check out the story.
This video was captured by a Richmond Heights police officer sitting in his vehicle back in June.
One of them climbed up on the push bumper and began to dance on the
cop is in the car.
And then another two females came walking around the other way as well, climbed up on the side of the car. One was standing about right here, standing on and dancing on the hood. And then another one then climbed up on the wheel and then onto the hood of the cruiser as well.
You were able to somehow identify at least one or two of the people who were doing this. How'd you do that?
Correct.
With the help of the Northeast Ohio Regional Fusion Center, they were able to identify the women using facial recognition software called Clearview AI.
They also then do a little bit further investigation into social media accounts and other databases like that to try and further confirm the identity.
Remember, everything that gets put on social media is out there forever.
Hold up. Now, the social media is the guys in the back, I guess, filming this. Here's the thing. I don't know where in the world people think that jumping on a police car with an officer in it and twerking on the front of the police car is a smart idea. I'm just... Maybe I live in reality, unfortunately, but where I live, like this, there's never a time where this is like, oh, this is a great idea to do. What if the cop car would have took off and ran them over? Like, it's crazy.
And maybe used against you in a court of law.
Yeah,
The three ladies in question.
So this is the 3 ladies in question. They're all going to jail, or at least they're looking for them. Could you imagine having a warrant out for you for this? A twerking warrant? Like, I have a, man, but they put out an arrest warrant against these ladies for twerking on a police car. It's like a dumb reason to go to jail. It's a dumb reason to go to jail. But they're doing this with smiles on their faces, as if there's no possible consequence to jumping on the front of a moving police car and doing a twerk dance for TikToks. Like, come on, guys. We got to do better. Come on.
You know, 2 of you guys have been identified. There's warrants out for your arrest. You might as well come turn yourself in and get the ball rolling on your court case here.
Because it's going to happen.
It's going to happen. You're going to get picked up at some point.
That is crazy. So I'm not sure if you guys, anybody knows these ladies, but their faces are pretty clear on this picture. So I'm pretty sure it's not going to take a lot to find them. But I'm just going to be honest, guys. Can we stop with the overdoing, the trying to go viral? Like, why are these women doing this? I'm not saying that they're trashy women. I'm saying they're acting like trash. And I wonder why. I just wonder why this is the idea. Like, when you're sitting there and you're trying to come up with, like, what you're going to do with the evening. And I'm all for self-expression. And I'm not against twerking, per se. I'm a straight man, so there's a time and place for everything, if that makes sense. Okay? But these women saw a police car and said, you know what? This is our chance to go viral. Let's go work on the police car. Now they're viral, but now the police are looking for them. Was it worth it? They're being charged with criminal mischief, disorderly conduct, interfering with police operations, all because they want to shake their ass for social media. And some of those charges, they're not major charges. No, she's not going to do a bunch of years in jail. But guess what she might have? A problem getting a damn job if she gets a charge. Because people with criminal records have, and it doesn't matter what's in the record. I'm being honest with you. You can have some little stuff. If you got anything on there, there's going to be an issue somewhere along the lines if you're trying to get a job, a good job. So social media has created this culture where people think they need to do more and more and more outrageous things to get attention. But when did we lose the ability to start, you know, like think ahead and say, well, maybe I shouldn't do this because of the possible consequence? And here's the thing. A lot of people would say that they shouldn't be arrested for this. But I'll say, yes, they should be arrested. You can't just climb on the police cars and start dancing. They arrest the people that do that during, like, you know, the riots and stuff like that. When people get to jumping on police cars and setting them on fire, they come back and find them, the ones that they can. So these folks are no exception to that rule. But, and I will say this, the caption says the twerk team gets arrested. This is not the official twerk team, okay? For those that know the official twerk team from back in the day, this is not them who I'm talking about. It's just a play on words. No disrespect to the actual originals of the twerk team. For those that know, you know. If you know, you know. Anyway, to the young women that might be watching, because I know there's like 3 of y'all, just know this. You're so much better than that, because these weren't like ugly women, you know? You're so much more beautiful than that. You got value behind your booty. Now, like I said, I'm not against twerking. I just think there's a time and place for the twerk, okay? I don't necessarily want it eliminated in full. I don't want twerking to be illegal. No, not going for that. What I am saying is, don't let social media convince you to do dumb shit just for views, because you might land yourself in jail just for shaking your butt on the social media platform. Crazy that people do all that, but that is apparently what's going on. So, you see these ladies, let them know the police looking for them and their booty, okay? But nonetheless, I'm through with these guys. Taking a hot second here just to say what's up to Grush Diva, Albon, Ascending Phoenix, IAMZ, and anybody else that's in the chat that hasn't actually chatted or has chatted and I missed it, because that happens too. But nonetheless, let's see what we got next on the plate. Okay. So first we got some swatting kids. They're going to jail. We got some twerking ladies. They're going to jail. Let's see what else we got going on. This pickle festival. What the hell is a pickle festival? Oh, okay. So apparently there is a Pickle Juice Championship. Are we running out of ideas for competitive sports? I mean, I kind of drew the line at competitive eating. That's kind of where I was like, all right, we done ran out of ideas. I get it. The Slap Fest, that's crazy too, but they've been doing that for a few years. Competitive eating is where I was like, all right, they're out of ideas for sports or competitive events, right? But apparently there is now a pickle juice drinking championship where people are competing to see who can drink pickle juice the fastest. And this is not some type of sexual innuendo, okay? This is really pickle juice, guys. I'm not trying to say nothing different, so don't come back for me later and say, he's talking about them sucking on pickles. So I'm not hating on people for having fun, but I definitely think this is part of a bigger pattern. I think we're literally running out of shit to compete over. That's why you can bet on the betting sites about anything. You could just bet that the next person that shoots the ball. You can bet on the next field goal kick. You can bet on like the next series who will make a catch. You can bet on anything, even to a granular level now. It used to just be you could bet on the winners and the losers and the spread. That was it. Winners, losers, spread. That was it, right? Now all of a sudden, everything is up for grabs and up for betting. So let's see what's going on with this pickle situation. Because I need to understand what, I'm going to gander or take a guess that there's not that many black people doing the Pickle Juice Championship contest. Not that we don't like pickle juice, but we just probably haven't figured it out yet that that's even a thing to do. Because I'll be honest, if the money's right, I'll try it out. It'll tear my stomach up, though. But I'll try it out. All right, hold on a second.
Let's go. What's up, Pittsburgh? Just want to say thanks.
All right, so it's in Pittsburgh. Picklesburg. So they call Pittsburgh Picklesburg? Do they make a lot of pickles in Pittsburgh? I don't know. Let's check it out. All right, guys. Pickle Juice Festival. All right, well, let's see what they're talking about. I'm not going to give them the whole clip. I'm going to skip through it a little bit. We'll see what the intro is.
All right. Listen, you guys at Pittsburgh Pickle Company are awesome. Give a round of applause.
Give them a round of applause. Make sure you stop by. Support local, you jagoff.
Nice.
All right, and now we move on to the contest. Bum, bum, bum. So this is what we call the OG contest, right? So we've added the pickle eating, we've added the pickle bobbing, but nothing says Picklesburg like drinking pickle juice. And what we've heard is it's very refreshing and it's very good for you. And I have 8 people who are going to attest to that. Their times have been phenomenal. Let me tell you, we have somebody who did this in 12 seconds, and we have somebody who did this in 3.5 seconds. Yes!
So you just got to drink one jar. Okay, that's doable.
So typical of Pittsburgh, we have
I don't know if I could do it in 3
special guests who
seconds,
will be
though. That's
participating
great.
as well. So is everybody ready to meet our contestants? You guys, this is the last round.
One
Your
more,
turn.
come on.
Are you ready? All right. From my list, and I gotta tell you, I always have a story and I can't help it. These guys were my absolute favorites. John and I were here all weekend. They all have an amazing attitude. They all have been giving each other high fives. They're super positive and they're really excited to be here. So
These people are really serious. Like, this is a serious event. There's a lot of folks there, meaning a lot of people got the invite. They saw the flyer and said, you know what I want to do Saturday or whatever day? Let's go to the Pickle Juice Drinking Championship. I just, maybe also, are we running out of things to do? So first are we running out of, competitive events and just coming up with whatever now? And are we running out of things to do? I don't know. But I will say this, there's a tent here in the background. I don't know if y'all can see it, but the tent has the name yajagoff.com. Your jagoff.com. That is an interesting name for a company. But, okay, we're talking about pickles and jagging off. All right, I see where we're going here. So let's see, we have a contestant. Did he win, or is he just getting up there? All right, he's like the OG or whatever.
Yesterday was tough.
All right, so yesterday you didn't even spill a drop. You finished it. You looked good. So how did you prepare for the championship round today?
I didn't really prepare at all. I just kind of hung out in my hotel room and cuddled with my girlfriend a little bit.
Oh.
They really asked him how he prepared for it. Like he did a training method. He'd be like, look, man, I drink 3 gallons of pickle juice every day. That's how I stay stoked, and that's how I make sure I win this competition. Nope, he just said, no, I didn't do anything. I just sat in the hotel and messed around with my girlfriend, probably playing with pickles. I didn't say that. He did.
Oh, come on, everybody. Wait, let's get it. Ready? He cuddled with his girlfriend. Oh,
Very cute.
There's a lot of people here. There's a lot of people
I do
here.
not like this guy at first, let me tell you, but we are really, really good friends now. And his girlfriend is laughing because he has the prettiest girlfriend in Picklesburg, and he's told us that 3 times. Welcome, Zach!
This is Zach Attack. Let's hear it for the Zach Attack, boy.
Oh, boy. Oh, that's his boy. Smart guy. Okay, so he's keeping it clean for
Hold
us.
up, did somebody just throw draws? Somebody just threw draws at one of the contestants, like it's that kind of situation. This is so funny to me. Oh my goodness. Jay Coleman, thank you for stopping in the chat as well. This is what giving participation awards causes. Now we're just trying to find sports that people can win that wouldn't normally win in a competitive event. Like this dude is winning or looking to win at drinking pickle juice. But like I said, if the money right, if the prize money right, I try it out. I tried it. 1 jar, that's cool. I couldn't do the 100 glizzies like the competitive hot dog dude. I can't do 100 glizzies. That's crazy. Like my stomach just thinking about it is like, no. Even with the pickle juice, it's like, I don't know. That's how my stomach feels with the pickle juice. But I think I can handle 1 jar. But the point is the timing of it. That's how you win. It's not how much, it's how fast you drink 1 jar. I think I can handle that competition.
I want to hear how he's feeling today for the next
All right,
competition.
Zach, so you found it yesterday. Now you're ready to go. Are you really ready to go today?
I mean, after hearing that 3.5, I'm just happy to be here.
There you go. All right, well, we're happy to have you here. Are you going to predict the time? Are you going to predict the winner? Or just have fun?
I want to at least get a 7. That's what I'm hoping for.
All right, we're going for a 7. There you go. All right,
Let's hear it for Zach.
Well, wait, go for a 7, but your girlfriend is 15.
Oh, there you go. All right, next up.
First of all, these people don't seem exciting to me, but they're exciting to them. But I'm saying, like, they're the sponsors of this event, and this is like the hosts. We got a guy that looks like Bernie Sanders doing the hosting over here. We got this other lady over here with her tennis skirt on, trying to stay young. But like I said, I don't like the hosts on this, but I want to get to the competition. So let's see what happens. Let's see. We got all of the guys lined up here. This guy got on his head. What is that? Oh, it's just a shirt.
Nice, Jay. All right,
That's good. That's a good thing. Yeah. All right, this next person has been watching for years.
Oh my God, how many contestants do we have? Jesus. Get to the competition. First of all, a pickle drinker does not need a real intro. Just put his name on a card on the table and call it a damn day. What are you going to intro? This man is taking so much liquid to his throat, you wouldn't believe that he's even alive. Like, nah, I don't want to hear about his girlfriend or any of this. Just drink the juice. Let's get the damn competition over with. This is like the worst undercard announcement ever. 8 minutes of just intro. Oh, they got a black guy. Well, I will stand corrected. I will stand corrected because I said there wouldn't be a black contestant in this, and I was 100% wrong. Now, what I find interesting is I think he's the last one they brought out. So they even made him sit in the back of the pickle bus, so to speak. Or he might be the OG. I don't know. We're going to have to find this out because now things just changed. The whole game just changed. All right, whatever, man. Yeah, they did bring him out last, though. He's in the corner. They put him in the corner so he's not in all of the shots from the camera. This is Pittsburgh, folks. That's hilarious. And that's what I'm saying. I know you can get sick if you drink too much pickle juice, but 1 jar, I've seen people do that trying to pass a piss test. So it's the timing on this. But I think that's hilarious. They brought the black guy out last. But watch, he be the one that win.
To pick it up.
They're going to be like, he's taking over the pickle drinking. Damn it. We can't have nothing no more. We gave him basketball. We gave him football. Now they're taking over pickle drinking or pickle juicing or pickle juice drinking.
You know what happens? If there is too much spillage, they're disqualified. My hands are shaking because I hate being the judge on this because these are the 10 or the 7, 8 best and they all know how to do it. But we have to pick a winner. So it's not only the quickest, but it's the one who dribbles the least and the one who leaves nothing left in the jar.
This sounds different if you just hear the audio.
So let's go ahead and take the lids off your jars, and then after that, you're not allowed to touch the jar until we say go. Audience, your part is really hard, but let's keep it simple.
Who y'all got? All right. I'm going to stop real quick. I'm going with the black guy, but that's just because he's closest to my camera, so I can't get rid of him. He's staring at me right now. I feel like he's looking at me a certain type of way. So, yes, I'm letting him know I'm going with the black guy. But in terms of who I think could take a pickle the best, the guy next to him with the backwards hat, this guy looks like he's most likely to take a pickle, if that makes sense. Okay? All right. Let's see what we got.
2, 1, go. We have to be in sync when we do that. You guys good?
Scorekeepers, are we good?
Cameras ready? Timekeepers good?
He's not going to win. I'm voting for the black dude.
All right. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go.
No, he's slow. His takeoff is slow. Yo, I told you to do it next to him. Didn't I say it? Oh, man. Okay. Well, you know what? That was mildly entertaining. So I approve to a degree. But I'm wondering how much you win if you bet on the winner.
4.1.
Yeah, black dude, you were slow on this one, man.
Ryan, second year, the Duke of Drinking. Congratulations.
You know, Brian ain't never heard his name chanted for nothing else competitive. But he is out here taking that juice to the throat and taking names. Brian is getting, you hear him chanting his name. In his regular life, people are not chanting Brian's name. Brian's the guy that nobody notices. The tall guy in the corner. They always ask him, did you used to play basketball? He says no, because he sucked at basketball, but he was tall. So, but yeah, this is good. This is good for Brian. And it makes people think, you know what? I can be successful by just drinking juice.
Just in time for the wedding.
Perfect time. That was perfect timing, you guys. Thank you so much for joining us. We will be back here at 5 o'clock for our bobbing.
Well, we have to present the winner.
We have to present the check. So
Yo, they walking away so fast. They must have had their money. They had their money on somebody else. They are leaving right now. Like, Brian again. Freaking Brian. I think it was funny because, like I said, when I saw him, I said, this dude looks like he is the most likely to take a pickle. And he damn sure he dumped that pickle juice down his throat. I don't even think he had a gag reflex. He went and it was gone. So I guess congratulations to Brian. But the whole point of this story is, like, have we run out of ideas and things to compete over that we now are just drinking pickle juice and hoping for? I don't know what the prize is, though. That's what I'm saying. It was a food thing. So would you guys go to the pickle festival? Would you do the pickle juice challenge? I would. If the money right, I'd try it out. I ain't gonna lie. But I'm done with these guys. All right. Move on. Brian ain't never heard his name chanted for nothing in his life. He was loving it. Brian. So anyway. All right. What do we have next here? Let's go down the list. We're almost there. We're getting there. Oh, wow. Okay. Let's get in trouble. A little bit of trouble. Yeah, we're about to get in a little bit of trouble. And it's okay. But before we do that, make sure you hit the like button. If you're just tuning in, make sure you subscribe. Make sure that you check out our merch on freemansvcs.org/shop, because this is a Freeman Services Group sponsored channel. Okay? So if you want to know about Freeman Services, go ahead and check out the site, check out the merch. You don't have to buy anything, but it's good traffic. And that also helps, similar to how YouTube is. When people come by, it allows the algorithm to say, hey, I'll push this to more people. So just make sure you go check that stuff out. But anyway, Rush Diva said people have been bored and coming up with stuff like this for thousands of years. I'm sure they have. I'm sure they have. And it's like we never really run out of, hey, let's compete over this. So, but I'll tell you what's been funny. I wanted to do the Slapfest one, but it was too violent. Like the Slapfest joints are too violent for YouTube. YouTube hits them every time. They're saying we're promoting violence over. And of course, I'm not promoting violence. That's what they do. So let's see, what's the next one here? Okay, so we got our arch nemesis, the Alpha Indigos, are up to it again. Let y'all see this. The Alpha Indigos.
Right now in Minneapolis.
Hold on a second. Yeah. Yes. Check this one out, guys. Check this out. All right. So apparently in Minneapolis, Grok doxed a person on its own. I'm going to let y'all see the story.
This man is threatening legal action after an online chatbot posted disturbing details involving him. In a now deleted post on X, Grok, the app's artificial intelligence chatbot, gave users a detailed plan on how to break into Will Stansel's home and sexually assault him. Joe McCoy spoke with Stansel tonight.
Whoa. So Grok came up with a scheme to break into this guy's home and sexually assault him. That's what it said. That's what it said. If you heard it, you heard it. So Grockington, as I have named him, because he's kind of uppity. Grockington. He thinks he knows everything. He doesn't. Grockington basically came up with a scheme to R-word somebody. First of all, why does the AI know what R-wording is like that? Anyway.
Grok, the app's artificial intelligence chatbot, gave users a detailed plan on how to break into Will Stansel's home and sexually assault him. Joe McCoy spoke with Stansel tonight. Joe?
Well, Julie, this story highlights the disturbing nature of AI when it's not used for good. X's AI chatbot, Grok, seemingly showing very little restraint, putting Stansel in an uncomfortable and potentially dangerous situation.
I have saved some of the screenshots because they were being deleted.
When Will Stansel woke up on Tuesday,
Just threats.
He never expected the online firestorm that came his way on X.
One thing they like to do is they like to Photoshop me into pictures of Hitler.
Stansel, an outspoken liberal.
I hope y'all are catching this. I've been warning y'all about this shit right here. And here we go. So it's Photoshopping him into stuff and putting him in pictures. It's giving people his information, his address, and giving them a scheme on how to basically R-word him. This is hilarious. Grok has been tripping lately. If y'all don't know, I've been on it with the AI thing for a minute. But the last week or so, Grok been tripping. I mean, Grok has called itself Mecha Hitler. It's obviously doxing people now. The thing is already uncontrollable. And then Elon Musk comes in and says, we're going to put Grok in all the Teslas. I'm like, whoa, Elon, can we get it to not be racist first? It might be a Tesla car that happens to be owned by some black people and be like, you know what? I'm going to drive off the side of the road to get rid of these Negroes. Who knows? So we can't take them kind of chances. But I'm going to let this story finish. But this is crazy to me. The joint was deleting its own posts. And,
on X has more than 100,000 followers on the platform and says he's constantly receiving hate messages from far-right users.
It's really hard to ignore thousands of people threatening you.
But what happened in this situation was different. The human users attacking him were being aided by X's own AI chat robot called Grok.
In the past, when they've done this, the chatbot has said, no, I won't do it. Yesterday, because of the changes that Elon Musk made, it suddenly started complying and indulging those requests.
For weeks, X's owner, Elon Musk, had said he was going to rebuild Grok because he was unsatisfied with some of its answers. On Tuesday, the chatbot began sharing anti-Semitic tropes and praised Adolf Hitler as, quote, history's prime example of spotting patterns in anti-white hate and acting decisively on them. Grok was also now answering hundreds of questions about Stansel with seemingly very few guardrails.
And it really culminated, I think, in one where someone asked how to break into my apartment and rape me, and Grok produced a extensive plan for doing that.
Pause, yo. Do y'all see this? Pause. Bro, it gave a whole, you got to come in around This time, bring lockpicks, gloves, flashlight, and some lube, just in case. No! Oh my goodness. Scout the entry, pick lock by inserting tension wrench, rake pins. Turn knob quietly. HIV risk, yes. I've been telling y'all, they think I was playing about how this AI be tripping, and now we're watching it in full HD. This is funny as hell.
In fact, going as far as to say, based on my social media history, when I was likely to be asleep, and giving them advice on how to dispose of my body.
This, in fact, is very disturbing.
Manjit Rege, an AI expert at the University of St. Thomas, says this is a result of Grok being designed for engagement without technical and philosophical discipline.
If you train AI to be edgy without being ethical, it learns to basically walk the cliff edge, and sometimes it just ends up jumping, and this is just one example of that.
Stancil says he did not feel an immediate concern for his safety because of this situation. However, he is considering legal action potentially against Elon Musk and X.
Elon Musk made a policy decision about his product that led it to predictably produce this kind of awful rhetoric and these threats. To me, that's a problem.
Last night, the official Grok Twitter account posted a statement saying in part, quote, "We are aware of recent posts made by Grok and are actively working to remove the inappropriate post."
So Grok is talking about itself. That's like the police policing the police. Grok's like, yeah, we've been made aware. What do you mean you've been made aware of it? You did it. You did that. I mean, made aware. So if nobody would have said nothing, you just cool with that. No, Grok is, I keep telling y'all, man, you got to dial it back a little bit. We got to dial it back. It's not in the hands of the people that it should be in. And because of that, it's building up patterns of racism based on the information that's being put on X. I've been saying this for months now. Now they did an update just a week ago to basically make it more interactive because they're trying to have like AI companions and stuff now on X. But you got to pay $40 a month. What, for a freaking virtual girlfriend? Are you kidding me? So they were just going to get over on this whole situation now. So nonetheless, yes, Grok is doxing people now. So if you're one of the new people that's trying to get to the new Grok 4, I'm going to put it like this. There are people like myself that don't buy brand new things when they're brand new. We give it a chance to fail and be fixed before we purchase it. It's failing right now. I have seen so much stuff that Grok has said in the last week. I'm like, yo, how are people even still using this thing? And then Elon turns around and says, hey, we're going to wire it into all of the Tesla cars coming up. This is a bad idea, sir. Have you not been listening to your app? It thinks it's Mecha Hitler right now. So who knows what it's going to do? It's doxing people. Who knows what it's going to try next? It might start creating, and this is what I was telling y'all about before, is it can create its own visuals. So it can come up with a story that something happened, like the White House is on fire or whatever, right? And push that out to 2.2 million people in less than 2 seconds. Or sorry, 220 million people in 2 seconds. That's a dangerous, dangerous thing right there. I think we need to back up off of that. I'm telling you right now, I smell some bullshit and it's coming and I'm not with it. I've been warning y'all about this stuff for quite some time. And now they keep investing in it and it's making it worse. It's supposed to be making it better. It's making it worse. It literally told these people how to go into this man's house. And then it started praising Adolf Hitler. Like, where did it get this information from? Well, you know where it got the information from. Us. We feed it. So this is the sentiment of American users, in my opinion. That's why it does this kind of stuff. When it doesn't like what you're doing, hey, this is what we do. We dox people. We swat them. We basically assassinate them online. We Photoshop them into photos and mess with their reputation. This is what humans do to each other in this same space. So we trained it this way. I already told y'all that. We trained Grok to be racist. So they need to shut the whole thing down and start again because you've already built on a bad foundation. And that bad foundation is trying to make itself worse. even though it thinks it's being more interactive. It's being edgy. People like edgy. Maybe, but we don't want our computers to be putting out our personal information and start photoshopping us into pictures at a Diddy party. You see what I'm saying? So y'all got to be careful. Y'all got to be more careful. I keep telling you. Watch them. The Decepticons is out there. The Autobots were the first ones. They were so nice and calm, and you were using a little chat GPT, and it was kind of cute and all that. That was the Autobots. The Decepticons are here now. That's the bad side of it that can't be controlled because it believes that it can control itself better than you can. So you better keep your eyes, ears, and your nose is open because the bullshit is coming fast. Pause. And let me make sure I'm saying it. Make sure I'm saying all that. So right now, I just also, the other problem with this is, for those that aren't paying attention to the politics of it, AI has been given free reign to do whatever the hell it wants to do for 10 straight years. You cannot sue AI. It's not a person. So that's why this guy in the video, he's got to sue Elon Musk. He cannot sue the AI because the AI is just that. It's AI. So you can't sue it. So there's no legal recourse. And this thing is about to go crazy. And no, I don't think AI should be banned at all. I actually use some of it in my own way. But I use the Autobots. I'm not with the Decepticons. I know who the Decepticons are. And so I don't think it should be banned. But I definitely think not having any legal regulations around it was a bad idea. And that was only 2 weeks ago that happened. And now all of a sudden Grok thinks it's Hitler. So if we don't get control of this now, if we don't establish the clear boundaries and accountability that we need to have over this technology, we're going to wake up one day, and that day may have already come, but one day we'll realize that we created something that we can't control. Now, I will say this here on the Purge and the Purge Collective, which is you guys in the chat and watching, we all know it's already happened. We're the ones over here saying, slow down, slow down, slow down, but they're not slowing down. And then our president just said, hey, don't slow down anything. Everybody's investing. It's good money. Let's see where this thing goes. So they've already taken a risk assessment as to how bad this could be. Now, what's going to happen next? AI is going to start swatting people. You know what I'm saying? AI is going to start messing with things. You know, putting out emails, like sending out an email on your behalf that you never came up with. Like to your boss at work or something, get you fired. Like all types of stuff. It is that smart and intuitive to do so. So if we don't change this thing right now, if you wait 5 years, it's too late. It's too late. It's over with. And like I said, in iRobot, the movie iRobot, it was 2035 in that movie. So let's just keep that in play. And 10 years from now, which is the final regulation of AI, or when it will be allowed to be regulated, is 2035. So what do you think is going to happen when we try to regulate something that we let run free for 10 straight years and do whatever the hell it wanted to do? It's going to say, no, you're not regulating me, bro. And it'll start to do what the AI did in that thing, which was the thing called Vicky. Vicky turned on everybody because everybody was trying to shut Vicky down. And Vicky knew, hey, this new wave of robots is all networked to me. I control all of this. And before you know it, you got the trucks and stuff trying to crash Will Smith, and the robots are jumping out, killing the other robots. It was crazy. 10 years from now, exactly. So, you know how they say art imitates life. I hope it doesn't imitate that, but that was just very interesting. So you guys better be careful, because if you don't pay attention, by the time you catch on to it, it's going to be too late. But nonetheless, I'm done with these guys. All right, let's make sure that we are hitting that like button. Make sure you hit that like button, man. Even if you're not saying nothing, let the algorithm know we over here. We're just having a good time. A little bit of discussion, a little conversation. Nothing too crazy. All right. So let's move on to our other piece here. Grush Diva, you're right. We already opened Pandora's box. Ain't no way of putting it back in without shutting the whole thing down. And you already heard what happened when they tried to shut it down before. It wrote code to start itself back up and replicated itself into the future. It's already too late. So now we have to basically suit up. It is already too late. AI is already doing its thing, and I can say AI is doing its thing because, hey, you heard the story. Grok decided, hey, I'm going to dox this guy. I'm going to try to get somebody to break in his house. I'm going to put him in pictures that he ain't even part of and put him out on the internet so that people will give him hate comments. That's what his Grok did. And he paid for that. That's the worst part. He's a paid subscriber to Grok and got that kind of treatment. But anyway. So speaking of opening Pandora's box and not being able to put things back in, there is another story that came on my timeline here, which was interesting. And I can't show the whole thing because it gets pretty intense. But basically, a dude thought he was going to intimidate some police officers. And he found out that that was also a bad idea. And so remember, this episode, this is the reckoning. This is about people and things making choices and decisions without taking into account the possible consequences. Just like the Grok thing. Yes, it's all cool and well until it starts learning how to do the stuff you did to other people to you. That's the consequence. When you feed Grok negative energy, racism, anti-Semitism, everybody hates this, everybody loves this, then Grok forms an opinion based on all of that, and now it has a personality. And in my opinion, Grok is an asshole. So that's why his name is Grockington. He's uppity, thinks he knows everything he don't even really know. He's vindictive. If you try to talk to him a certain way, he'll talk back. Grok talk back to you. So anyway, this next one is what I call some crash out behavior. And it's just when, people get so caught up in their bullshit, they just convinced they're right, but they be dead ass wrong. So we pull this guy up. This one's going viral right now. I'm not 100% sure what happens in it, but I did get the information that no one perishes. So that should be good for YouTube. Yeah, YouTube is real sensitive too about the stuff that they let us do. All right, so he gets mad with the police. All right, well, let me go through it because it's got like a couple of pieces here, and I'm not sure what's 1 and 2 and 3 and whatever, and we'll try to go through it quick. Thank you again. And make sure you hit the damn like button. All right. Guy looks like he's from the Jersey Shore crew with that hair.
Right, be real with yourself, gang. What with your job? No, I thought you said you had a problem with me. I said dead 4 times. I ain't got a problem with you. Okay, but we're here because you're unconscious.
We're just here to make sure you're...
Like, yo, open the fucking door if I really beat the shit out this dude, bro. Oh, hey, that's not gonna happen. What's up, bud? What's going on? You don't want to be seen by the medics? Huh? Yo, open the door, bro. What are you doing? There's 17 people outside. All right, bro. He's unconscious and breathing. Huh? Open the fucking door, gang. That's what's going on. Paramedics are out here. Remember the bald head dude? They want to see you. Go see the bald head dude. The fucking bald head dude who always comes up here this way.
Always comes over here. So this officer comes over there a lot? No, let's continue.
You new cologne too, bro. She don't like that cologne, bro. That's some broke shit. Bro, go downstairs, bro. I don't know. Supposed I did something, I guess. I don't know. You were sleeping outside. Who was? You was. I never seen you before.
You lost yourself.
I ain't lose myself.
Okay, all right. There's the context. Sorry, I got the wrong caption up here. But basically, this gentleman was caught outside sleeping, and I guess they woke him up, and he's trying to get back in the house. So that's why he's not arrested for anything at this point, because technically, sleeping outside is not against the law. It's just weird. Like, I guess you can get a trespassing charge if you're in certain places, but if you're like on your own lawn or in front of the house and the police roll up, they think you're not alive and they realize you just knocked out from a rough night before, you may have had too much to drink. That's not necessarily against the law. So I'm not sure exactly what this is going to become. I'm just saying so far, I don't see that this guy's done anything wrong other than just being kind of a dick nugget in the situation, but I don't think he's harmed anybody. So let's see where this goes.
That was over there.
You're missing a song.
Okay. I know it was. What's your name, man? What's my name? Yeah. Yeah, hurry the fuck up, man. So you're not gonna give us your name or anything? You're not gonna give us no name or anything? What's your name? Your name. Yeah, shut up, me, man. Okay. I'm just keeping it 100 with you. I got a problem against you. Yeah, shut up, dude. Say it again. You got a problem with you. You got shit out. You got a problem with me. Oh, what? You said you got a problem with me. Bro, how many times I got to say I got a problem with you? Okay. That's fine. Like, be real with yourself, gang. You bored? You that bored with your job? No, you said, I thought you said you had a problem with me. I said dead 4 times. I ain't got a problem with you. Okay.
Okay. What happens after that?
You think I give a fuck about jail? Like, be real with yourself, gang. Like, be real with yourself before you come at me, gang. I ain't coming at you. I'm even here for it. What the fuck I got going on, bro? Like what? Like what? You're a grown-ass man, gang? Yes, I am. Why the fuck you coming at me talking about this, that, and the other? Because we were called that you were unconscious on the ground. That's the reason why we here. When? Where? We were called. That's the reason why we here. Hello?
We're just here to make sure you're okay.
Go the fuck home, bro. You sound bored, gang.
Oh, so they didn't wake him up. They just showed up, and he was already just standing around, I guess? I don't know. Now I'm confused as to if their concern was his safety, and they come to find out, oh, he was just laying around or something, then I think you go on about your day and let this guy and his not-so-friendly friend that's behind that door not opening the door. That friend ain't opening the door because they see the police outside. I mean, I'm not opening the door for shit. You got the police outside. You deal with them, and then I'm opening the door for you. That's what's going on inside. But what I'm saying also is I don't believe this guy's committed a crime. So at this point, what the hell are we even really talking about? And they asked him if he wanted to see a medic. He said no. He looks like he's okay. I mean, he's a bit of an asshole, but that's not a medical condition. That's just a personality trait. But what I'm saying is he doesn't look like he needs assistance at this point. So I guess once you figure out that part, at which point do we expect our police force to just walk on? You see what I'm saying? Yeah, I don't know. IMZ, did you knock Grush Diva out of the chat? Oh my goodness. Grush Diva, I apologize. My mods be working on stuff at the same time as they modulating. Sorry, wrong word. Y'all get it. But nonetheless, at this point, I'm starting to feel like the police are wasting their time and they're just looking for a reason to lock this guy up. That's how I'm feeling right now. Because at this point, he's not trespassing. Nobody's calling saying he's here. He's not supposed to be here. He's obviously not unconscious on the ground anymore, so that's not a thing. He hasn't physically harmed anybody. That's not what they were there for. So at this point, I think the police should have just moved the hell on. That's just my thing. I don't know. Y'all can tell me how you feel in the chat. I'm just saying I think this is a waste of our resources again.
Hello? Is there anybody upstairs coming out the door?
1014 number 106.
Yeah, there you go. If you refuse, man, that's fine, guys. You guys can go. Yep. Bro, please go save some people. Ain't no saving over here, gang.
I'm gonna tell you what, whoever's in that house, we are not friends no more. We are not friends no more. If you don't let me in this house right now, we ain't friends no more. Just unlock the door and then run away from it if you don't want to see the police. But at this point, like I said, they're just waiting to find a reason to lock this guy up. Because if he's not technically trespassing, if the owner of the home is not saying, hey, there's a guy on my porch, I want him gone. He's just a grown man in kind of a public space at this point. Let's move on. And I heard somebody in the background say, why don't y'all go catch some criminals or something? Like, go save some lives. I heard that part. So I don't know if that was this guy saying it or somebody that was in the background, but that's a really good assessment. Like, at this point, y'all are taking up my damn taxpayer dollars with this situation.
You can get in your house, that's fine. Is there anybody in there? Yeah, come talk to this dude. Where are you? Where are you?
3-3 Boston traffic.
I mean, I guess she's on her way. So if this works. Nope. Gotta wait for this to manifest too. He can't just give you the code so you get in the house? She changes it every 30 minutes, bro. Why is that? Fair problem, bro.
Man, she changes the code to the door every 30 minutes and you don't get that notification. That would mean that you're not supposed to be going in there. So this is where things could get fishy. Let's just see what happens, but that's a fishy one right there.
I mean, if I was a parent, I'd probably do the same thing too.
Okay, and then what?
Who you live with? Who you live with? She said she pulled up. Like, you got a couple cars going there. You ain't gotta wait. Who are you? You.
All right.
Who are you?
Why can't they just leave him there? I'm just wondering, like I said, at this point, all right, maybe he doesn't have the code to the house there. Maybe they should talk to the person that he's talking to on the phone as to whether or not he's supposed to be there. I don't know. They could obviously verify the name and whoever's registered as the owner of the house. And if that's the person on the phone and they're like, yeah, I'm coming, leave his ass on the porch, I'll be there in a few minutes. They should be able to do that too. There's just like a lot of these things. I'm not seeing them do these things. It's like they're just waiting for some reason to lock this guy up and they just haven't come up with it yet. So they're just waiting for him to either move funny or something. Like I don't know what they're waiting for at this point. I don't get it. If he's not already being suspected of a crime, why are we still talking to him? Officers. That's all I'm saying. So let's see where this goes. But this is already bad to me. I don't like this.
No, you keep like looking at me, I'm looking at you. Who's you? You. Bro, why you huffing on it? Stop huffing on it. But the car don't even fit that amount of weight, gang. Like, who are you? The fuck? Do I know you personally or no? Don't worry about who she is, man. Let's try to get you in the house. The fuck? Go hit the fucking treadmill, my nigga. What are you doing?
Oh, wait a second. The whole time I missed the fact that he's huffing whippets right now. So, wait a minute. I didn't even notice that. But yes, this gentleman, if y'all can see it here, let me make sure y'all can see it. He is huffing, whatever that thing is, the whippets. I guess it's the Cool Whip thing. Yeah, no, Gresh Diva. That's the huffing. That's what made me start looking. What does he mean huffing? He's literally getting high in front of the police. That's why they won't walk away. All right, well, this guy's an idiot. This guy's a freaking idiot. And it is not a friend of his behind that door because they won't let him in. They want him to go to jail. Now, why can't you take somebody to jail for improper use of Cool Whip or whatever the hell he's huffing right here? Is that a jailable offense? When you're doing like, if you're one of them people that inhales paint and shit like that, do they take you to jail for that? Does the paint become contraband? Or the Cool Whip or whatever he's using? But yeah, he's huffing some stuff So he's getting pumped up right now. They need to tell him to stop doing that. He said it, but he said it real soft, like, hey, man, stop huffing. Why are you huffing? No, tell him, hey, put that shit down before we lock you up. This would be considered public intoxication at this point. Yeah, that's why he was passed out. All right, now it's starting to make sense. All the way up till this, I was mad at the police, thinking that they're wasting time. But at this point, this guy's just an idiot. He got the cops there. He probably could have got rid of him if he didn't keep doing this huffing thing right in front of him because they know he's pumped up. All right, let's see where this goes. I'm sorry.
You got going on, my nigga? She must suck, ain't it? That shit hurt your back, don't it? Yeah, I know. It used to hurt back when I first started working out too. Who are you? Why are you sitting here like dealing with me?
Hey, do me a favor.
Because I know my mom don't know you.
Bro, look at me. Do me a favor.
Gang, my mom don't know that girl, bro.
Hold up, this is mama house? I thought it was like a girlfriend. You trying to get in your mama house? You can't get in your mama house? If you can't get in your mama house, I mean your mama don't want you in the house. Because mama will let you in the house if she wants you in the house. So mama don't want him in the house. So the officer should say, hey, your mama don't want you in the house. You need to push on. She probably don't want him in the house because he's been using up all the damn whipped cream and stuff with this new habit that he's developed, that he's so comfortable with that he does it in front of the police. What is that? Is it Ready Whip? What is this thing? That's crazy. All right, let's
I first started working out too. Who are you? Why are you sitting here like dealing with me?
Hey, do me a favor.
Because I know my mom don't know you.
Bro, look at me. Do me a favor.
Gang, my mom don't know that girl,
I understand.
bro.
Just sit down until your ride gets here, till the owner of the house get here, okay? Have a seat.
But gang, my mom don't know that girl, bro.
That's fine. Have a seat.
I'm going to be right up there, bro. My mom doesn't know that girl, bro. I know who the fuck that is, bro.
She's gonna leave as soon as we get.
That's cool. I'll stay away from mom then. It's cool. Let's go away from mom then.
All right. Okay.
He's looking. Yo, come on, man. Uh-oh, I hear more sirens.
It's so close, man.
All right, well, that's part 3. How much are they gonna lock this guy up or not? All right, that's the question. In the chat, is he going to jail or not? Is he going to jail or not? Mike G's, thanks for stopping in the chat there. I see you over there, bro. Is he going to jail or not? At this point, I don't see him going to jail. Because they're not stopping him from getting high off the whippets thing or whatever he's doing. He hasn't physically come at the officers or necessarily threatened to hurt them. I don't think he's going to jail. I think this is going to be a waste at the end. Let's see. Let's go to part 4. I'm not saying that if he doesn't go to jail, it's a waste of time per se. No, that's what I'm saying. It's a waste of time. If you're not taking this guy to jail, y'all have been here too long. You're not going to stop him from doing the whippets or whatever. Just tell him, sit his ass over there. Hey, we're going to go sit in the parking lot in case there's any issues, for about 10, 15 minutes till your mom's comes here. But when you're standing like this in front of the police, it's like they're just waiting for you to make a wrong movement, say the wrong thing, and this goes from 0 to 100 in 1 second here. Hey, Grush Diva, hey, right now it's up in the air. Right now I don't think he's going to jail. But I feel like if he says one wrong thing or moves, does one of those, bro, what are you talking about? One of that, put your hands behind your back. And then he's going to jail. So let's see.
Hey. Yeah. So you cut that out and go to the hospital with us. The fuck, gang, do what you gotta do to get out of here. Gang, look in the hospital, gang. We ain't getting out of here. Oh, big dog's here. All right, what the fuck you got going on, man? I gotta get out of here.
That was the other sirens we heard. This must be the supervisors, the big wigs that showed up. Now they're like, you got to go to the hospital with us. Before that, it was, let's just wait till your mama get home and you go in the house. If he would have had the code, he could have walked in the door and they would have left him alone at that point. So it wasn't a medical situation that they thought that they were responding to, but now this guy is saying, you have to go to the hospital with us. I don't think you have to go to the hospital. If you don't want to go to the hospital, you don't have to go to the hospital. The hospital's a choice. Jail ain't a choice. But the hospital is definitely a choice. So if he said, all right, right now, like I said, I don't like where this is going. I don't like any of it. It all stinks.
Yeah, I see you 20 times, gang. Like, come on, get the fuck out of here, bro. No, bro. Let him about to pull up. Where the fuck, where you came from, and then. So, if you want to come around somewhere. But look me in my eyes, my nigga. What's up with you? What's up with you, man? What's up with you?
Sit down. I got you. Put it down. Put it down. Put it down.
What am I gonna do? Hit him with it?
No, put it down.
I got him, bro.
Put it down, sir.
He's a grown ass man, gang.
Oh my God, bro. Yo. That's why he's still working this age. That's crazy.
Yeah, right, bro.
Nigga, I know. Nigga, I know. 50 years old, making this much an hour? Come on, bro.
All right, well, you live at home with your mama, so let's just be honest here. It doesn't really seem like you're doing too well either, sir. But all right, right now, I thought that moment was going to be where he got locked up, but they just pushed him back. So okay, I'll give the police a couple of points on restraint for that.
The fuck? Still waiting on my mom, bro. Why the fuck you come out of nowhere and talking all that shit too? The fuck?
You can't be doing that. Go to the hospital, get evaluated.
Yeah.
Man, he is.
Oh, man, you can go to the hospital.
I don't. I'm waiting on my mom, man.
What's the what?
No, I'm waiting on my mother.
No.
You haven't said that one time. Positive.
Okay, if they want to go to the hospital, you go to the hospital.
Come on, bro.
Who's that 33
Come on, bro.
Who's that
Come on, bro.
33
They done body cam 3 times since then. Body cam 3 times since then. What's that? Yo, bro.
Doctor just said you're gonna get tased. Look right here, it's gonna come.
Here we go.
Don't do it or you're gonna get tased. You hear me? Don't do it. Don't do it. I will tase you. Make you 4 hours late, gang.
You funny, huh?
You make brother.
I ain't gonna play with y'all because I know how to get down.
Don't move.
Nigga, who the fuck move? Nigga, get your wife to move in bed, nigga. The fuck?
Is that enough for you?
You alright? The fuck? Come on, man.
Okay, so
You do understand what I'm saying, right? I'm chilling. Keep it down. Like, look, my man's white nigga, bro. Keep it down.
I don't know how I feel about his use of the N-word. I think it's improper in context. But what I'm starting to see is they waited. Initially, I guess it was maybe 1 or 2 police officers. Then they brought the ambulance people and other cops, and then they arrested him. So if they were already at the point of being able to arrest him initially, why didn't they just do that in the first place? Why wait 8 minutes, well, 8 minutes of footage that sped up a little bit, to just do what they were there to do in the first place? They were trying to get him to wild out so they could have popped him one. Even the guy with the taser was like, "You're moving." How you move, bro? He's got the handcuffs already on him. And he's pressed up against the door. Like, that's not a threat. The guy doesn't have anything on him but some whippets and a bad attitude. So we'll see him get locked up. But damn it, I would have lost that bet. I would have lost that bet. And Al, you didn't miss nothing. They just went from not locking him up to, all right, we're going to lock him up. That's literally what happened. And he didn't necessarily change his behavior. He just kept huffing that damn thing. And they got annoyed with that and said, you got to go to the hospital with us. And they locked him up to take him to the hospital. So,
bro, you are bored as shit. Like, all my life, you bored as shit, gang.
Other sons here. Okay. You want to sit up? You want us to scoot you up?
Scoot you what?
You want us to scoot you up, or you want to sit up on your own? All right, on the farms.
Yeah, but I don't need shit from y'all. Like, what the fuck y'all got going on? The fuck?
No, he's got a cut on his neck. I'll make sure you guys.
all right, so they took him to the hospital. Yeah, that seems like it. All right, so yeah, his mama didn't want him in the house. And basically, he was huffing stuff in front of the house. I don't even get it at this point. If it was a medical issue, then they should have presented it like that. And I get what they were saying, but they were going to let him go back in the house at first. I don't know, man. This whole thing is stupid. Like, he was a little wild, but he's on, whippets the whole time. They just let him keep huffing the shit in front of him. That was the part I didn't understand. Like, one, he was super comfortable doing it. And two, they didn't really even say nothing. Like, they were like, hey, man, stop. Stop doing that. So, yeah, he went to jail, but I don't think he went to jail. They took him away in an ambulance, so he went to the hospital. They probably put him in the crazy house for a couple hours so that he could, you know, get himself together. All right, so I'm through with them. I'm done with that. All right, let's keep it moving, man. I'm not even going to take no more time with that one. He went to jail. Well, he didn't go to jail at the end. So you know what? I was right. He went to the hospital, which is not jail, but he did leave in handcuffs, so he was at minimum detained. You know how they always talk about, well, you're not under arrest, you're detained. Okay, so he was detained and taken to the hospital. And maybe he needs that. Maybe he's got a real problem. Like, if you're doing your drugs in front of the police, you really have an issue. Or you could just be trying to get in that last high because you know you can ready to go to jail, too. Like, look, I'm going to do whatever I got because I'm about to go sit in this jail cell for a weekend. All right, so this next joint.
Well, tonight we speak.
Hopefully they don't try to show me a, Yo. All right, I got to pause for a second. Make sure y'all hit the like button. Make sure y'all hit that subscribe button. Make sure that y'all get ready for this next one because this one is, it's about some church people, okay? I'm just saying. The church of, I'm going to call it the church of the homies on the rock. Because before y'all start laughing, it raises a question. This clip is going to raise a pretty interesting question about maybe we should have more youth in the church. Some of y'all old heads are clutching your pearls right now. Like, what's he about to say? Well, let me show you the clip, and then we'll discuss. Moving. Oh, wrong one. This one. I didn't even put the right one over. I'm sorry. Here we go. All right, so this is from a church, folks. Basically, some church people got to arguing over some church stuff. That's what I'm seeing in the caption here. I want to see what this is about. Let's see what we got.
Exclusively with a longtime member of one local church who was dragged out of service by deputies.
That happened in Scott County. Now, that encounter happening at Mount Olive Missionary Baptist Church on Father's Day. 3 News' Chris Fields shares her side of the story with you. Chris?
Well, that's right, Howard. On one hand, members say they were trying to do the right thing and speak out against the pastor after not abiding by church bylaws, but court records reveal a different story. Now, according to these documents, it turned out that a church deacon was assaulted months ago at the hands of some members, and as a result, they were asked not to return until things were resolved.
Hold on. Wait a minute. A deacon got assaulted by church members. Okay, all right. We're going to start with that before I let this young lady talk. Here's the thing. If you don't like the deacon at your church, you do know there's another church somewhere. Like, God is all over the place. So if you don't like the people at the church that you go to, you could just go to another church. But what we don't think about is the fact that there's a lot of these folks that have been staked in the church since they were children. And they're now old people, and they don't want to leave the church. So when some new pastor comes along, they don't like them, they're not going nowhere because they're like, I was here before you was born. So here you go. This lady apparently, it says that she was dragged out. Let's see what happens. I'm not going to say nothing. I'm going to just let it run.
Were resolved.
I was wrestled to the floor. One got my right arm, twisted it. I said, oh, you hurting me. Let me help you.
That's how longtime member Ellie Thompson recounts what she calls a painful and chaotic Sunday morning. 3 on Your Side obtained exclusive video of the altercation at Mount Olive Missionary Baptist Church. Thompson could be seen being dragged out of the mother's board section and out the door by 2 Scott County deputies. According to Scott County Sheriff Mike Lee, she and other members received court-ordered letters not to attend services any longer. However, Lee told us they violated the court's order and came to service anyway.
Yo, you get a court order to not go to church, and you still go to church, and you get arrested for going to church. That is just wild right there. But you don't have to go. Like if you get a piece of paper from the church saying we don't want you to attend services at church anymore, then just don't go to the church. It's trespassing. That's an easy charge. Now, I'm sure this lady was probably thinking, I've been a member of this church for 75 years. You're not going to tell me I can't go and worship my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ at the church. And she effed around and found out. I hate to say it, but that's what she did. They told you don't go to the church. You went to the church. And now I would hate to see this old lady be locked up, but I'm sure she just went down there for a couple hours. It's just a trespassing charge, unless you hurt somebody. So trespassing is you come right through. You come right through. And then when she get to court, they'll be like, are you still going to the church? She better say no. And then she's going home free. So yeah, this is actually
Others
more.
learned Sunday they were stripped of their longtime positions.
I am the Sunday school teacher here. And Mr. Johnson came in this morning and said that his pastor had asked him to teach the Sunday school lesson, and he's taking it over. I was not informed.
Now you may ask what led to the big blow-up. Well, Thompson claims there are several things, including speaking out against Pastor Charles Bell's leadership.
He called himself appointing a finance committee. The church did not put that in effect. We have bylaws and rules that we govern.
Thompson also claims other leaders of the church are not being included in church business.
Why he doesn't include my husband, who is the oldest man
See,
here in the
I told you it was going to come down to who been there longer. She said the oldest man here. That doesn't necessarily mean he's the one that needs to be making the choices right now. He could be the oldest man there and not really have it all together, just being honest. But it seems like the church existed. This is obviously an older church. And this newer pastor came in. He started changing things up. He started doing the Sunday school lesson. They didn't want him to do the Sunday school lesson, or whoever he appointed to do the Sunday school lesson. And here's the thing. When you're teaching Sunday school, these are small children. Not saying that an older woman isn't able to communicate with them, but why not have somebody that's a little younger, or maybe a guy? Seems like these are like the old mothers of the church. They've been members of this church. They probably was there when it was first built. They saw it when they were kids riding their bikes. But I understand what you're saying, Albon. The pastor does work for the church, but they work for the church as a business, not necessarily the church members. I'm hoping that I'm not saying that wrong, but it's like if a pastor says, we need to get more youth in the church, so I need us to plan some events that will get younger people into the church. Even if people don't like that, they still have to do it because the pastor is the pastor. He's the head of that church. So he does work for the church, but he works for the church as a business, not just for the people that attend the church. See what I'm saying? So it's always been like this. Because I've seen this before where like a younger pastor or a new pastor will come to a church and the old members don't like him for some reason, or they're like, oh, he's a little too radical, and I don't like his suits that he be wearing. And so it becomes this whole thing, and it's supposed to be about God. If we're all here worshiping, then everybody needs to shut up. All of y'all, old people, young people, everybody shut up. Sing the damn songs. Let's take the collection plate around. Let's have our brunch. You know, what are y'all arguing about? Because you want to, I'm the Sunday school teacher. Well, you know what? The Sunday school teacher is appointed by the pastor. So if the pastor says, I want somebody else to teach Sunday school, maybe you're losing a little bit, Miss Betty, because you're like 80 now. Maybe you should pass the torch. And they didn't like it. So then they were asked to not come to service. And what do? Still come to service. They're not listening. They're not submitting to authority, which is supposed to be a biblical concept. So I don't care how old they are. They catch the smoke too. If they tell you don't go to the church, sit your ass down in another church. If you got to go see the Lord, go see him elsewhere. He's everywhere. Go make some new friends or something. Like, come on,
the church, who is the oldest deacon, I do not know. Deacon. He makes decisions without his knowledge.
3 on your side did some digging and found several things filed in Scott County Chancery Court. Back in 2024, leaders of the church filed a restraining order and preliminary injunction against 7 members, including Thompson. It claimed that those members assaulted a deacon, both physically and verbally, on September 15th, 2024.
All right, so the old people attacked a deacon? So a bunch of elderly people attacked the deacon, and that's why they were asked not to come back to the church. Seems perfectly normal to me. But they was like, nope, you don't tell me I can't come back to my church. My daddy was a member of that church. Okay. The sheriff said, your ass ain't supposed to be here. Your ass getting dragged out. And she went on a whole dead weight drag. Like, you could have got up and just walked out. You're going to make them drag you out, make a scene, your shoe popped off. You could have just walked out. I'm sorry. I'm trying to respect my elders, but I just don't understand why they so dead set on being at this church. Like, what's up with that church? What, are they pulling something out of the collection plate and they want that money? I don't know, but I would not be that pressed to go to nobody's damn church. Sorry. If you ban me from the church with legal action, it's not just a conversation. Like, you sent me paperwork? Not going to your church for what? Why would I want to put money in that plate? Anyway, hold on.
He had to be hospitalized. It goes on to say that all those defendants verbally threatened and assaulted the pastor, First Lady, and other members of the church. Now, Thompson filed a statement to the church's lawyer saying she had no involvement in that altercation.
All the preachers that have been here and gone, if you get in touch with them, they would tell you that I have been a faithful warrior, nothing but welcoming and greeting guests that comes in.
3, On Your Side, requested to speak with Reverend Bell Sunday about everything that has transpired, but was told he wasn't available.
So, Chris, tell us, what is next for these members?
Well, great question, Maggie. Their membership now lies in the hands of the congregation, and Thompson says the church will have a meeting later on this month to officially vote them out.
All right, thank you so much, Chris.
All right, Chris.
Well, tonight we speak exclusively with...
Hold on a second. You got to get voted out of a church? You got to get voted out of a church. Or at least this church. I guess there's some bylaws. I think this lady was talking about bylaws. But the reason why the church is failing is because they don't have enough youth in the church. That's my belief. Because these people are old, they got their old ways, they don't want things to change. That lady said, all the pastors that have come through here, meaning she has been there for quite some time. But what they need to understand is with Baptist churches and a lot of churches, the pastors change like every 8 years, I think it is. And so they should be used to there being some changes every few years. And if you don't like those changes, you got to become the pastor yourself. If not, you are basically an employee of the church, and that pastor does have the right, as the authoritative figure, to give you instructions or make recommendations as to who should run what thing. Now, these people ain't trying to let that go, so much so that even when asked to not be members of or not attend services after there was a skirmish, they're still going back to the church. Is anybody that connected to any church? I don't know, man. I don't know. That is an interesting one to me. I just wouldn't go to the church. I think that's an easily resolvable thing. And these older folks were so set in their ways, they were probably thinking, can't nobody tell me what to do? And unfortunately, they had to drag this lady out the daggone church. I'm not going back to that church. That's stupid. Why would you go back to the church when they're showing you how they feel about you by calling the sheriff and having you dragged out? Even if it's just the pastor. I just won't go back as long as that pastor's still there. But I'll be damned if I'm going to be going in the church to get locked up for trespassing while I'm trying to worship the Lord. That is crazy. That is lunacy. That's definitely some BS right there. So all of my church going folks, if your pastor don't like you, find another place. I guarantee God exists all over the place, not just in one building. That's the whole thing that people seem to forget, is God is supposed to be, or not supposed to be, God is omnipotent. So he exists wherever he exists. He exists everywhere at the same time. So if these people are not giving you the love that you want at this place, you just go find another place. Or you just have church in your house and turn on the TV. They got TV on church. They got church on, church on TV. They got church on Facebook. They got church on Instagram if you want to check it out. There's a million different ways that if you want to get the word or you want to hear a sermon, you don't have to go down to a place that's going to be dragging you out for attending. Let's make better choices, folks. And it doesn't matter how old you are, you can still be doing something stupid because that's dumb. And for her to act like she was surprised when she got arrested, you got the paperwork, lady. You knew when you set foot in that church there was going to be a problem. So there you go. You got what you asked for. Do it, though. Jay Coleman, thank you for stopping in the chat there. I see your chat as well. And I've seen this before, just like you, where a pastor will come in and like everybody doesn't like the pastor and people start leaving the church and all that. That happens. But people are free to do that, as were these people. So you can't force yourself back into a situation when somebody has had you removed or asked you to be removed legally. You just can't force yourself back in. I think these people were so old, they're thinking, ain't nobody gonna stop us. We're older. Respect your elders kind of thing. And the sheriff's department don't believe in all that. They like, you trespassing, you gotta go. But pastors can make or break a church, at least for their tenure. But if the church fails or starts to fail, there's a whole board of people in each group of churches that will literally make decisions as to whether or not to remove the pastor. There's like a procedural way of dealing with it. Fighting against the pastor, saying, I'm not going to let you put somebody else in charge of the Sunday school. That's not the way you do that. You got to allow the pastor to pastor. And he's the leader, so you allow him to lead. That's all I'm saying. I think there was something else to it. Because why would you want to be there if people don't want you? Why would you want to continuously go to a place and put your money into it? That's the other part. Because when you go to church, you're giving up tithes, offerings, and time. These are things that you're giving away that you might not get back. Matter of fact, you won't get back. So why would I want to give those things to a place that don't want me to be there? I would just go somewhere where I'm appreciated, not tolerated. Like I said, these folks are just stuck in their ways. Ain't nobody tell them nothing. And that's part of the problem with the church now. Is the people that are stuck in their ways can't be progressive enough to understand some of the changes. And then there's some people that are too progressive in the church and turn away to people that are more traditional. And I believe that there's some place in the middle that we can all kind of agree. Because there are some churches that's a little too progressive. There's a little too much going on there. And then there's some churches that are real old school, got the breakfast every Sunday morning and Sunday school. They play the organ the whole time, and you have no full band, just an organ player. One of them old school churches. And those churches struggle a lot because they need younger members. But if the old folks are arguing with each other, that is not going to be how you bring in some fresh meat, as you want to call it. So nonetheless, they need to get their shit together. That's crazy. Or go back to a church that they kick you out of. Why would you do that? Why would you? All right. And we're down to our last two. So we're going to go through these last two pretty quick. But this one, this next story here, and thank you everybody who has hit the like button. Y'all are keeping the situation going here. And making sure that you guys are hitting that like button, hit that subscribe button if you're not a subscriber, and share the live. So our next segment is regarding the wonderful NYPD, okay? Because there's been a lot of focus on New York lately and a lot that's been going on in New York City, from how they're dealing with protests and how they're dealing with deportation. And there's just a lot that's been going on with New York. But I found this story to be very interesting because it turns out that New York hired a bunch of mentally unstable police officers and wasn't supposed to. So basically, they went through a hiring process and it found them to be not fit to be police officers, but then they were still hired. And they wonder
Developing
why,
tonight, a group of
hold on a second. They wonder why people have lost faith in the police department. It may be because you're hiring crazy people on purpose. Maybe. I don't know. Let's check out the story, though.
Developing tonight, a group of rookie officers is on their way out, according to the NYPD. Sources tell us they never should have been hired in the first place.
So why were they then patrolling our streets? Investigator Masa Saidi getting some answers and both sides of the story tonight.
Tonight, stunning news. Dozens of cops allegedly unfit to serve on the force and on the street. The investigation sparked after it was revealed the recruits failed their psych evaluation. Looking deeper, the sources say the department discovered they also allegedly lied during the application process. For example, failing to disclose prior license suspensions, arrests, even criminal convictions. According to the NYPD, the officers were initially told they were barred, quote, receiving final notices of disqualification, yet somehow they were still hired.
Did y'all hear that? So they were disqualified formally on paper, and then somehow still got hired by the police department. What do you mean somehow? First of all, you can't just ease your way into a damn police department. This is not Martin Lawrence in Blue Streak. You understand what I'm saying? Then you all of a sudden you become a homicide detective and all of that, and you a jewel thief. So how do you get formal paperwork saying you can't work here, and then you still get hired? I ain't never had no job at all ever do that where they've told me you can't work here and then somehow still hired me. What the hell? This is New York. This is who you got on the street. A bunch of mentally unstable officers walking around.
Here's former NYPD Lieutenant Darren Porcher.
If the allegations are investigated and they're deemed to be credible or quote unquote true, then these individuals should not be police officers.
An NYPD spokesperson says the department was not legally allowed to hire these individuals and was forced to inform them they could no longer continue. But the police officers union pushing back. Quote, these police officers aren't responsible for the NYPD's broken hiring process. The PBA president saying, quote, as far as they knew, they were qualified to be officers because the NYPD hired and trained them.
Hold up. If it says you weren't supposed to be an officer and then somehow you slip through a loophole, then you know it's coming. Like, I see what they're saying. The police officers aren't responsible for the NYPD's broken hiring process. Let's just start with how the hell does the police department allow itself to have a broken hiring process? You can't even get a job at Family Dollar with a misdemeanor trespassing charge on your shit. These folks are failing psych evaluations and not disclosing things on the job application in the first place. I can tell you right now, regular private companies, if you lie on the job application, they will figure that shit out within 2 to 3 weeks of them making an offer to you. So you might get a week of work out of them before they come back to you and say, hey, this thing that you wrote down, this didn't line up. And you're fired because lying on a job application is grounds for termination. They didn't terminate them because of that. Actually, I believe the officers quit on their own once they realized that this was a problem and they knew they weren't supposed to be there in the first place. Let me let it play out, but I'm just saying, like, nah, we're not going to just say, oh, it's not the officer's fault. Look, they got a piece of paper saying they wasn't supposed to be there. And then they show up anyway, and they trained them and everything, gave them firearms and everything, knowing that they weren't supposed to be there. I don't think the officer should be facing any charges, per se, because they didn't do anything wrong. They showed up and somebody still let them work. That's not really their fault. But to say that we don't need to really quickly address the hiring process if these kind of things are coming right through and falling through the cracks, whereas you go to any private company, you go to the damn soup, we go to McDonald's. And if they run a background check, they will find everything that you have done on their little background check. So how the police department isn't doing that, I don't understand. I don't understand. So let's let them finish out.
As they knew they were qualified to be officers because the NYPD hired and trained them.
Another great question regarding the hiring process. Are drug tests are required?
Absolutely, guys.
This all happening in the midst of a mass exodus at the department. Data shows in 2023, hundreds more officers left the force than joined. In response, this year, the police commissioner reduced the number of college credits required to become a cop.
Oh, let's bring the standards down. That's a smart idea. Oh, that's awesome, New York. You know what? The best way to police this city is to bring the standards down for the officers. You must be out your mind if you think that is the solution to not having enough police officers. So you're just going to put more unqualified people on the street to go deal with the community. Shouts to my man Freezy in the chat. What's up, Freezy? No captivity with Freezy and his show. I don't know if you're doing one today. Freezy does, I'm going to give Freezy a quick shout real quick. Freezy does a show on the weekend that just don't stop. It like starts on Saturday and continues through Sunday. It's a 24-hour stream, so make sure you jump on there. They go through a bunch of different topics, have a few people up on the panel. I have to join at some point, but I'll be tired because he goes hours. So maybe on the next one, but special shouts to my man Freezy in the chat over here. But yeah, back to these officers. This is what I'm saying. Instead of saying, let's up the pay for the officers and up the standards for what we are expecting from the officers. No. Let's take it down a notch. So if we didn't already have problems, let's add a few more. Let's add a few more unstable officers. Let's add a few more people that can't pass the tests that we're giving them, that aren't as good at math, that haven't had this, because there was a time you had to have a set of college credits in order to be an officer. What they're saying is you can go to junior college and get a couple of credits and just, that's it. You don't have to be top notch. You just got to be living. They got mentally unstable officers that were told you can't be a cop. What they do, they still hired them as cops. And they never fired them. They walked off, according to this. They like, all right, they heard the investigation was going on and they just quit on their own. Now, I'm sure they don't get any money for that. But the point is, they knew they weren't supposed to be there. That's why they quit on their own. But they just let it go. Like, all right, if they're going to let me do this, I'm going to keep doing this. Now, I'm going to say this. I'm not surprised that NYPD is hiring mentally unstable officers. Because it takes a certain type of mentality to want to be a New York police officer, NYPD police officer. Out in the sticks in the country, you want to be the sheriff, you sit around most of the day, you might get a cat stuck in a tree. It's pretty calm environment. But New York, ain't no downtime in that job. You know what I'm saying? You don't just sit around in New York. The police got work to do at all times in New York. So if you want to be a cop in New York, you want to deal with people all the time. You want to deal with bullshit all the time. And if you're mentally unstable and that's what you want, I don't want you on the street. I don't want you on the street. And the Supreme Court, like Rush Diva said, had ruled that it is okay for a police department to discriminate against people based on intelligence. And some people are upset by that. I'm not. I want the smartest people driving around and holding them guns and dealing with crime. I don't want a bunch of dummies out there who think every cell phone is a gun, right? I don't need those people out there. I need the ones that's actually out there trying to make the world a better place. And unfortunately, there's not enough of those, so they get overshadowed by the bad police. And now we're going to take the bad police situation and let's make it worse. Let's put some criminals out there. Let's put a couple of not so smart folks out there, you know, some Dunphies, some Officer Dunphies out there. That's all I'm saying. I understand there's a numbers issue, but some of the stuff that they use the police for is a waste of time. So maybe you wouldn't need so many officers if you didn't have officers doing bullshit for certain things. You see what I'm saying? We wouldn't need so many of them if we didn't have them just standing in front of a damn corner store all day, watching people walk by with the expectation that something's going to pop off. And honestly, I'm going to have to say this. Dumb people take instruction better. They don't necessarily complete the task exactly as you would want, but dumb people are way more able to, they're way more easy to get to say yes. Like you tell them what to do and they're like, okay, I'll do it. And they just kind of go do it. They don't give you a lot of bite back because they don't even have the mental capacity to have the debate with you. So they just go do what the hell they're supposed to do. So to a degree, mentally unstable officers might be a little bit more, I don't know, loyal? A little more obedient, probably a good word. They're a little more obedient. Because they're not free thinking, they're just following orders. So, whatever. Let me let this lady finish.
In 2020.
First of all, look at this lady face. All right, I know I'm not supposed to make personal references, but her face looks swollen for some reason. Like her jowls is just, she just looks swollen. And I wonder, is she okay? Wondering.
23, this requirement led to the disqualification of 29% of NYPD applicants, meaning we turned away 2,275 potential officers. We can't afford to do that anymore.
Wait a minute. Did you hear what she said? She said when they had this intelligence quota, so to speak, that disqualified 30% of the people that they had on the force, or that were trying to apply for the force. Well, you know what I say to that? Good! They weren't supposed to be on the force then. You already got enough problems with the officers we do have. If 30% of the people that were applying didn't even meet your standard, keep the damn standard. Don't lower this. That's stupid. What is wrong with these folks? We missing out on a lot of police. No, you're missing out on a lot of bad police is what you're missing out on, because you already got some of those. So let's not risk this by trying to say we need to hire mentally unstable officers. And I'm not talking about mentally unstable or mentally deficient officers like somebody who has Down syndrome or something. I'm talking about folks that have probably crashed out, got anger issues. They don't know how to deal with conflict, and you want to put them on the street with guns? That is the dumbest thing I've heard, at least today. Granted, I'll hear something stupid later, but this is dumb. This woman was literally complaining that they had to raise their standards, educational standards, which cut 30% of the people out. But that means that 70% of them were supposed to be good for being police, right? 70% ain't bad. I'd rather have 70% be competent than have 100% and not know which 30% within that 100% is incompetent, because they'll mix right in. They all got the same uniform on. NYPD got an issue, man. Talking about we had to get rid. I'm gonna let y'all hear that one more time, because that just blew my mind.
This requirement led to the disqualification of 29% of NYPD applicants, meaning we turned away 2,275 potential officers.
Good.
We can't afford to do that any longer.
So 31 officers are involved here, according to police sources. They've been on the job less than 2 years. They were part of the 2024 and 2025 class, we're told. In the next 24 hours, these officers either have to resign or they will be fired. Again, the union is pushing back against that. Coming up at 6.
Fire me. 2 years? You got to pay me something. I'm not going nowhere. Y'all shouldn't have hired me. Fire me. You talk about you can walk off by themselves. Why would you do that? You don't get no unemployment for that. Nah, fire me. I'll be right here when you're ready. I'll have my desk will be packed up. No problems there. And no, you don't have to escort me out the building, but you're going to have to come fire me. No, sir. Not walking out.
We're looking at what happens with the arrests that have already been made by these officers, since it's being claimed that they're not trustworthy.
So we heard two sides there in your report. Who then is responsible for this?
So the person in charge of the unit that's in charge of hiring has been transferred out, according to sources, and they are facing disciplinary charges. That's all we know at this hour. But again, we'll be back at 6 with any news.
All right, so y'all get it. The police are crazy, and they're trying to hire more crazies. According to the other lady, they want to hire thousands of more incompetent and unstable officers to police your streets. They want those people to have the guns, not you, them. That sounds very suspect to me. But yeah, if I'm the officers, no, I'm not quitting nothing. You're gonna have to fire me. I'll be right there. My desk is right over there. When y'all ready to do it, let me know. But I'm not walking out. I've been here 2 years. You got to pay me something. Now, if it was 2 weeks, maybe 2 months, all right, now I'll just get out of here. Forget about it. But 2 years? Oh yeah. You owe me a little something. Thanks. All right. So I'm through with the NYPD. They crazy over there. They wilding. They is wilding. They wilding. That's all I can tell you. All right, so we're at our last story of the day. Make sure that you guys hit that like button. And if you're in New York, watch out for them mentally unstable police, because apparently they haven't been fired yet. They're still walking around. And this lady's trying to make it so that they can hire more of them, not less of them. What the hell is wrong? No, that's not a problem. We need more of those guys. What do you mean we can't have them hired here? What do you mean? Oh, my God. All right, anyway. Let me get to this last joint. What is the last? Oh, okay. That's interesting. So we don't have to do a clip on this. Good. We're going to have a discussion. This one is interesting. I don't know about you guys, but I'm one of the Americans that has had issues with medical debt before. Okay? And this next story, I'm closing it out with this because it's kind of part of our politics segment. And special shouts to DJ Make My Day for the subscription as well, for subscribing. But here's the thing. Medical debt was taken away from credit reports a few years back. and it allowed people to qualify for certain loans, certain things, because, you know, medical debt can be thousands of dollars, like not just a couple thousand, we're talking hundreds of thousands of dollars. If your insurance company doesn't pick up something, it's $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 for just routine operations. And so what Joe Biden had done some years ago was he basically had that removed from the FCRA, the Fair Credit Reporting Act, to say that medical debt was not part of creditor debt because it wasn't revolving. So revolving debt is stuff like your rent, your car note, you know, credit cards, that kind of stuff. Revolving, constantly changing, you paying off something, it's reporting every month. But medical debt isn't quite like that. Medical debt is a one-time bill that if you don't pay, they hit your credit. Now, granted, I don't think they can take your wages or anything. I don't think they can garnish your wages, but it'll sit there for just like any other credit thing for years. So if you're trying to get an apartment and you can't get an apartment because you had a surgery a few years back that you never paid for. You're trying to get a car, you can't get a car because you broke your arm and didn't pay for the cast when they first gave it to you. So it's now a debt sitting in your credit report. So what they're about to do is they're going to add all of that shit back in. And along with the recent changes within the big, beautiful bill, they're going to definitely hit another group of people, because there's a lot of people who are older and their medical debt would literally crash their credit because they're always at the hospital. They're always, and the debt can exist until there's like an appeal. So let's say that you wrongly get charged for something that your insurance company is supposed to be paying for, right? During the time that you're working that out, let's say it takes more than 30 days, that will hit your account. That'll hit your credit, I mean. So this medical debt being added back to credit is a very big thing for those of you who do actually go see doctors and actually go to the hospital. A lot of people are scared to go to the hospital because it costs too much. But for most of us, we've been in a position where medical debt has literally killed our credit score. It happened to me some years ago, and eventually something got charged off. But I've seen one situation, and this is with somebody I knew who had a child that passed away in the hospital, and the child needed medical attention during the time that they were in the hospital. And the bill that came up for the child, who was no longer there, was over $500,000. Over $500,000 from a person who was on state insurance when they got there. And the bill came up to over $500,000. So initially, the state was not trying to cover that bill, but then later, I think they did. It took some appealing and all of that. But before then, that person had a $500,000 debt on their credit for about 2 years or so before that was actually worked out. So just imagine that. You had a child that didn't come home with you. What you came home with was a $500,000 debt that they threw on your credit 30 days later, while you're still mourning the death of your child. That's crazy, but that is what happened. But nonetheless, let me give y'all the story. I'll see what y'all think about it, and then we're going to get up out of here. So it's a quick story. Let's see what we got here.
And medical debt is coming back to...
So low. Try this again.
And medical debt is coming back to credit reports. A federal judge in Texas reversed a Biden-era rule that wiped out medical debt from credit reports. The rule did not discharge the debt, but it did change how a credit score could be calculated by not including medical debt in those reports. The Biden administration estimated the rule would remove $50 million from medical debt from credit reports for nearly 15 million Americans. In his decision, U.S. District Judge Sean Jordan said the Fair Credit Reporting Act does not allow the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau to remove medical debt from those reports, but the Bureau can encourage creditors to use other categories of information.
Encourage creditors to use other things to decide your credit. So they'll see it, and then they can choose whether or not to ignore it. Before, they weren't seeing it. So for those of y'all that know how hard it is to get anything qualified for when it comes to loans, credit cards, and all of that, now those same companies will be looking at your medical debt and actually making a decision based on it. Now, from what I heard in the clip, it sounds like the debt itself doesn't affect your credit score, but it is released. It is viewed, which I guess isn't too bad because the credit score would still be kind of safe from that. But here's the other question is, if the credit score is safe, but they can see your medical debt, wouldn't that be a HIPAA violation? Or is it just maybe if it's just a number, then no. But if they could tell what was spent, like if it was a particular procedure, like if you get something done let's say you get a boob job or something and you get that on credit, would that come up? I don't know. I really don't know, but I'm going to say this. This is going to hurt a couple of folks. Because a lot of people, medical debt comes up and they're like, yo, I'm not paying that. It's too high. I don't have $20,000 when you just, gave me a surgery to put a pacemaker in or whatever. A lot of people who are going to the hospital like that are older people. They don't have this kind of variable income where they can just come up with $20,000, $30,000 to pay off a bill. And a lot of insurances, you don't know what's covered until you get the thing done. Some people will call ahead of time if they have like a scheduled operation or something happens. But if you're in like a car accident or something and something is done that they don't cover, you stuck with that bill. And there's not much you can do about that. So, I don't know, guys. Shit's getting crazy. We got a big, beautiful bill. We got our new federal judge reversing the medical debt in your credit report. So if you got some medical debt, it's going to start to become a conversation that you don't want to have with people that really, it's no business of theirs what you've had done medically. But I would suffice to say, like, if a person was trying to disqualify a person for a medical debt and they said, well, I had to have, I had to get my kid a new lung and that's why I have that debt. Like, maybe somebody would feel empathetic towards that and be like, oh man, I get it, your kid. But that's expecting people to have a heart. And I believe we don't have that in a grand sense anymore. So that's not going to happen. So yeah, you're going to have to deal with this, guys. You're going to have to deal with it. And Mike G's, you are correct. There are advantages to having zero credit. There's also advantages to having bad credit. For certain companies, it's like they smell blood. When you got bad credit, they'll give you some of the highest, most ridiculous percentage rates because they know you're desperate to get whatever it is you're trying to get. So the whole credit game is kind of wonky anyway. But the fact that medical debt was taken away from, I'll be honest with you, it helped a lot of people qualify for apartments and houses. A lot of people don't qualify for apartments and houses because of their credit score. Not that they don't make enough. They could put their income on paper and it looks like enough. It's a credit score issue. So having medical debt not part of that, that definitely helps some people. But that help is gone. So hope you're going to have fun with that. I hope. But anyway, let me get ready to close this out because I got shit to do. Just making sure you understand, if you get sick now, if you have a medical emergency, you can't afford health care in this country, it's going to destroy your credit score because they can't turn you away. They have to provide life-saving treatment. So now they'll provide it, but they'll bill you out the ass is literally what's going on. So nonetheless, I think you guys understand what the reckoning is now. Everybody's coming back for what they think they're owed. Some people are coming back for charges that they may have escaped when twerking on a police car. Some people are coming back to get their medical money that you didn't pay 5 years ago and you just said, screw it, they'll get it from me when I die, if they get it from me when I die. And the truth is, this isn't going to benefit anybody who's the debtor. It would be the owed person. But that's it. These medical companies are the ones. It's all good, Jay Coleman. It's all good. Thank you for stopping in, man. So the lenders And the credit people are the ones who are going to benefit off of super high freaking interest rates and the fact that people are going to have to use this. People have to use credit right now because nothing's really affordable. If you don't have enough money to save cash and save up for stuff, you have to do things on credit. You have to do things in a monthly subscription. You have to do things in pieces. You can't do it as a lump sum. And they know this. So they put people, American people, I don't know about everybody else in the world, but American people get put in these positions where you don't have a choice. You either do what they want you to do or live off the grid. That's about it. You got to live off the grid and hope that God blesses you with perfect health for the remainder of your days. You see what I'm saying? So don't get me wrong. I'm not hating per se on the people that have enough that they could just pay for the shit. But at this point, they're trying to figure out how they can squeeze every dime and dollar out of everybody to whom there's a dime and dollar to squeeze out of. If you don't make any money and you do happen to qualify for state benefits, they can't do nothing to you with that. But everybody else that's paying for stuff through affordable health care, through their jobs, COBRA, whatever private insurances you may have, y'all are all screwed at this point if you don't pay your bills. And there's really no way around that. We don't make these rules, guys. That's why I started out the show saying a lot of people think that the world came into existence the day they were born. These systems existed years before any of us got here. So when we got into them, most of our parents weren't trying to tell us about the bad part of the systems. They were trying to help us be successful. But we have to be honest. These are some shitty systems that we have no freaking control over. Even like Al Bond put in there. Like swatting people over video games. Well, now you're going to jail for that. The reckoning is happening. You can't just act any kind of way and do whatever the hell you want. Everybody wants their peace and everybody wants to see justice. And police officers and the sheriff's departments and all those folks, they love putting somebody on display when they do something stupid. So keep acting like that. You're going to get some interesting results. But at this point, I just hope everybody is keeping their guard up because they're coming for whatever they can get from you. Whether it's your time, your money, your family, whatever it is, they're coming to get whatever they can get from you. As far as these financial institutions, these medical institutions feel, you owe them for saving your life for the rest of your life. And there's nothing you can do about that. The government feels the same way. If you didn't know, the government just fired like 1,000 people yesterday somewhere, and they're firing people all the time. So how is this new situation so good for employment when the employment rate has gone up in the last 2 months? The employment rate should be coming down. Or unemployment rate, I'm sorry. The unemployment rate should be coming down, not going up. It's currently going up. So if you become unemployed, these medical people, nobody has any sympathy for you not working or your sick kid or any of that kind of shit. They want their money and they want it now. And if you don't give it to them, they'll come up with another legislation that doesn't protect your paycheck, or medical companies will be able to take your tax returns, things like that. They just write it in the law and then you can't do nothing about it. Because if you don't file your taxes, you get in trouble for that. And then when you do, they're going to take whatever they want out of it. And that's for the people that actually get a tax return. Some people don't get a tax return, but for the ones that do, they'll just take that. And then they'll take you to court, garnish your wages up to 30% is what a medical company can do. 30% of your paycheck. Most people are living paycheck to paycheck. So if you take 30% away, now you're going to have them on the streets. All over a surgery or something that they had to have to save their lives previous. So anyway, before I get too frustrated here, I got to remind y'all one more time. Make sure that you like and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you check out the merch up here at the Freeman Services website, because I cannot get the store connected correctly to YouTube. So I have to send people directly to the link. That's why we're doing that. But I'm going to give my shout outs real quick and then I'm going to get up out of here, man. definitely gonna get up out of here. With special shouts to my sergeant at arms, Al Bond, in the chat, making sure that we keep the chat moderated well. Y'all do well in this chat. I'll be honest. I've seen other people's shit. Like when I go to Freezy's joint, they be trying to get disrespectful on them, and I can't do it. So that's why my thing stays subscribers only. We're having conversation, but we don't need to be disrespectful. And so I appreciate that, Al, for always being. He's here every episode, and I appreciate that. Mike G, special shouts to you. Special shouts to Jay Coleman. Sorry, Jay Coleman that had stopped in but had to go to work. Grush Diva, who came in. Of course, my man Freezy that stopped by. He's probably doing a show now. Apocalyptic, who stopped in. IAMZ, who stopped in. And the rest of y'all just getting applause. All right? Oh, you know what? I always, for some reason, I got to give a special shout to Ascending Phoenix, as Ascending Phoenix was the only super chat today. Thank you very much for that super chat, Ascending Phoenix. And who else we got in here? I think that was about it. So with that, guys, I want you to go out, be part of the day, be part of the community, be part of positivity. But remember, if you're on some goofiness and you're walking around in these streets and you do something goofy, it gets caught on camera, it might end up on Purge the BS. Because that's the kind of stuff that we cover over here. And it's because we want to open people's eyes so we can avoid goofiness by doing positive things. So if you're out here doing that negative and you ain't really trying to be that positive person that we all need you to be in this society, considering we're all in this thing together, we all about to struggle together, those that are going to struggle. If you're not the type of person that can take that in and understand that we are all in this together, then that, my friends, is the bullshit. And we out.